So it's October, it's just before Halloween, we've already got a copy of the latest Now Christmas. And I'll just do you now the shorter review of just this. You can see just how many other Now Christmas volumes there have been. There's a couple there from 2015 and 13. They're the only two there in the middle there to have ever included the Mariah Carey big Christmas song, All I Want for Christmas. They brought it back again many years, and they've done it nearly every year ever since the release of the one in the year 2000, which was simply called Now, the Christmas album. I've just turned that over there. And in 1986, there was the Christmas compact disc, which was the first one to ever be released on CD, with one song that will never be released again if it focuses, and that is Gary Glitter with Another Rock and Roll Christmas. And then Queen, Thank God It's Christmas, has never appeared on anything either. I don't understand that, because it is a good Christmas song. Why doesn't it appear again? It doesn't have the Gary Glitter problem. So this one includes most of the usual suspects. It's got a really nice sort of cover. I actually prefer it over so many of the others because it's so distinctly festive. It's using the classic colour scheme of red and green. And when you go to the track listing on the back, they've kept it pretty simple and uncluttered, and it is simply that red and green colour scheme. There's a few more unique choices in a way. It does comprehensively cover all the ones that you always hear, such as Shakin' Stevens there and Slade, and they're mostly packed onto the first CD. But it's the first ever physical release of the one from last year, which I thought could become a new Christmas classic, because it really works well as a Christmas song. It made #1, didn't it? Ed Sheeran and Elton John. It's not on the main numbered series, Merry Christmas. What's interesting about Shakin' Stevens is they didn't include, on the first ever Christmas compact disc, they didn't include that classic one that he did, but they had to include it, presumably for rights reasons, because it was too new at the time when this was coming out in 1986. They included Blue Christmas. And I think that's here anyway. So it's pretty standard in a way. There's a vinyl version of this as well because of the resurgence of vinyl. So people seem to like that enough for there to be sales. So really, I think I quite like this one in a way because it has everything that you would expect it to have. It has a lot of the minor ones. It covers all the big ones. And they're packed on quite neatly here. I don't understand it as well here, why we can't have All Alone on Christmas by Darlene Love, because that was the song that they were playing in the Home Alone movie, maybe Home Alone 2. And the only compilation I've ever seen it on is this one, which is from the Rival Hit series sometime in the early noughties, which is when that was still going, owned by this same label, I think, Sony. So when those labels merged, the Now series could basically have all the songs that the Hit series used to get. And there's something else quite unique going on here, is that this fourth disc, which wasn't present on some Christmas releases, a lot of them are just 3 CD, it has a bunch of songs that are simply songs that are hits at Christmas time. In other words, they were big in the charts around Christmas time. They don't really have much to do with the festive theming. Well, that's quite unique. This is a song that I can't really remember being included there. Munch in a Freiheit, Keeping the Dream Alive. I actually think this We All Stand Together, this Paul McCartney frog chorus, is actually a bit of a rarity on compilations. I've not seen it on too many of them, or really any of them, I don't think. So it might actually be a unique chance to pick that up if you haven't already got Paul McCartney's greatest hits or something. And the Mariah Carey song that they do feature is a unique choice. It might be one of her festive albums, Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. There is a second Christmas song that she released that I thought should have become bigger, and that was in 2010. It was called Oh Santa. It's really good, but you really don't hear that compared to All I Want for Christmas. But they haven't got that one. And then I think, and it kind of made me want to pick this up, when I haven't picked up so many of these. I've only got the first 100 Hits Christmas, for example, that came out. It's this Band-Aid choice here, although they've got the original actually on this CD somewhere, or on this collection somewhere. They've stuck the 12-inch version on here. It's not even an extended version of the song. It's actually loads of drops by the artist talking about the reason for recording the record and to say Merry Christmas 1984. But it's a pretty unique release. And I can't imagine it's on many other physical releases at all. Maybe you would even have to pick up the single from 1984 to get hold of it in another way. So that's pretty good. So I think the red and green theming just makes it kind of festive, and what, not only that, it's packaged nicely, but this trend of doing the CDs on the cardboard, if you actually put them to some serious use other than ripping, you will eventually get scratches on there, I think, because things get trapped underneath and so on. They're never going to be as good as actually these plain old boxes. So yeah, it's actually, if you're going to get one version of Now Christmas, you'd probably find this one better than this one. An almost identical release of this came out. This was to follow the celebration of Now reaching 100 in 2018, and this is just one of the many 100 hit series they came out with. I think it was all virtually identical, the one they came out with in 2020 after this. So there you go. In 2021 they had something a little bit like this that wasn't 100 hits, but actually was not as unique a collection and didn't have quite as many, but it did have a vinyl release as this one does. So there you go, it's out already just before Halloween. They never put out a physical CD for Halloween in the UK, but this is one from the US that they've done. So it's just not as big as Christmas. You can see that there's the lineup there, you can see, for it. Doesn't even actually include the original Ghostbusters. It's got Run DMC Ghostbusters. Instead, there is a sort of official MP3 release you can get through Amazon and iTunes with a cover they've designed for it, and that's the only UK release under Halloween theming they've ever done. So there you go. So just before Halloween, I'd like to once again say Merry Christmas